Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. I know for some of you this is probably a little bit late, but considering I only pulled the LR Golden Frieza recently, you know I still had to test them out. So that's exactly what we're doing. The first test against Red Zone Omega. And I was thinking, is he really, even at 55%, is he really going to live up to the title of the best or one of the best yellow coin LRs in the game? And he 100% did. Like, gold medals, like literally keep it in the golden themes. He really did. I was really impressed. Don't get me wrong, I have used him in every single Red Zone event, including Cell Max. I am going to start using and revisiting some units against Red Zone Cell Max. I don't like doing the normal Cell Max event just because only the top 1% can really compete in there, and I get the whole thing is, oh, they survived a turn against him, they must be decent, and I kind of get that, but I don't think it's a really fair test, so I kind of stay away from that event and I stick to Red Zone and mostly actually trying to complete the stage. Or if something kind of goes wrong and you kind of, you know, if a bit of RNG went your way and you actually beat that run, or you could see that you were able to beat that run, that's what I put up in videos. And I said LR Golden Frieza didn't disappoint. I do believe where he's been released on global with all the stuff we've seen so far, and you know, especially at 55%, which mine is, and will probably stay for a while unless I get lucky during the anniversary with like ticket summons or something. I do think naturally, like a lot of other units, because this happens to a lot of other units in the game anyway, and happens to all units, naturally he's going to age. But he's probably going to be one of the best aging units in the game. And of course, naturally, he's going to look like he aged a little bit faster, and a little bit more cracks are going to show being at 55% without those extra stats, without, you know, additionals and crits to do extra damage, you know, build up his passive a little bit quicker. Those cracks will show a little bit more at 55%, which I think is a fair assessment and fair to judge. Now, against Omega being probably one of the easiest Red Zone bosses, you know, the first phase, he does have the seal and lock. The seal would be frustrating. I don't think he really got sealed too much against Omega's first phase, if any. But of course, the way that's going to affect LR Golden Frieza is, the main part is, on his 18 key, he raises attack and defense for the turn, but considering you're going to be starting with the full 90% damage reduction and having the majority of his damage reduction, like the bulk of it, while you're in this phase, you're not really going to have to worry about getting an 18 key super attack off to get the 30% attack and defense raise. In slot 1, pre-super and post-super, he's tanking double digits. Supers won't do a lot to him, even if he doesn't super himself. You don't have to worry about it, because again, you have the bulk of the damage reduction, while you are, of course, losing 10% each turn, even when he doesn't appear. Would it have been a whole lot better if he'd lost the damage reduction every time he appeared? 100%, but I still think that would have made him a little bit too OP. So it just is what it is. So you don't really have to worry about him taking damage here. The only part where the seal can kind of affect him or kind of be frustrating with LR Golden Frieza is going to be where he gets the additional key +2 and defense +50% from performing 5 super attacks. Now, of course, if you keep his HP at 50% or above, he will get the additional attack and defense +100%, which is a little bit more crucial and useful later on, where he needs the extra defense and the extra damage to get through the Red Zone stage a bit quicker when you've lost the majority, if not all of his damage reduction, that he loses the full 60%, especially at 50% not having those extra stats. That's where that's going to be effective, and also that's when you're really going to need it, including the key +2 and the extra 50% defense you're going to get from performing the 5 super attacks. Of course, if Golden Frieza is sealed, he doesn't super attack. Even if you are 50% HP or above, he doesn't launch the additional, so you can't build that up as quick as possible. But because if you are maintaining your HP at 50% or above, which to be fair is actually relatively easy to do with him, yes, the wrong unit can be super attacked here and there while you're trying to build another unit up, which could kind of affect it, but keeping your HP at a 50% HP threshold or above, very easy, because Frieza's again tanking literally double digits for the majority of things and not taking too much damage in the beginning against Omega. And again, while having almost the bulk, if not all of his damage reduction, he's tanking everything for hardly anything. You know, Cooler has all the additionals to build himself up quickly to get extra defense. He still might take a little bit here and there, but not enough to get down to 50% HP or below. And then, of course, the best combo you could probably bring is not even the rotation you're going to have. It's bringing LR Metacooler with you, the Carnival LR Metacooler, of course, if you have him. If not, then it's still not too bad at maintaining your HP, but this, of course, makes it easier. You know, on this team, you have a lot of units that can surround Golden Frieza as a tank, including himself. Once LR Metacooler is building up, which against an int-type unit, he could do fairly easily, especially once he super attacks. But more importantly, LR Metacooler has the healing. So if you wanted to run a 200% lead Wicked Bloodline team, you're going to be getting that healing every other turn because you're running dual elemental leads, which of course consistently keeps your HP above that 50% threshold because you have that healing. And then not only that as well, you have Easy A AGL Golden Frieza who tanks for 90% damage reduction. Of course, nowhere near as good, but it means you're not losing that much HP. Janemba, you know, has the guard, things like that. If you get enough orbs, you don't lose that much HP. You may lose like 100k on a super, 200k, but not enough for you to get down to 50% HP or below. And then not only that, you also have Tech Easy A Golden Frieza as well, the Easy A Transforming Cooler. Yes, he needs to stack up his defense, but with the built-in additionals and potential of dupes, he's the only one who may get caught early on, but you can build his defense up to 300k pretty quickly. So getting your HP at 50% or below never really seems like a problem, and you're always launching that additional super attack and having the additional attack and defense plus 100%. So because your HP majority of the time is above that 50% HP threshold, it means you're a lot of the time hitting your 18 key if there's enough key spheres. But more importantly, you have the ability to launch 2 super attacks in one turn, which regardless if it's 2 12 keys or an 18 key and a 12 key, he's doing some solid damage, which once he's fully built up, Frieza can actually do like 7.7 million on a super, which while being that good defensively, especially once he's lost his damage reduction and supers and gets the 30% attack and defense raise, he still tanks incredibly well. But it does become a little bit more crucial the later in the event you go, because as I said, you're going to get that extra 50% defense, which means you're going to need that later on because of all the damage reduction you lost, but also the key +2. And of course, you also get the extra key +2 and attack +50% from receiving 5 attacks in battle, which in red zone will take you no time at all because, of course, in red zone, every single red zone boss just attacks multiple times. And a lot of the time, on average, a lot of those attacks are coming in slot 1. So that's where Golden Frieza is going to be pretty much at all times, especially during the beginning with all the damage reduction. So getting the extra key +2 and attack +50% from receiving 5 attacks, you're pretty much going to get that in turn 1 majority of the time, if not turn 2 at like the very first attack, just because of how many attacks typically on average are in slot 1. And then that's where the key plays a crucial part, because he's already getting key +5 at the start of turn, which is great for an LR. But then you get the key +2 for receiving 5 attacks, which again, I said, you could probably get done in 1 turn, if not at a push, the first attack in turn 2, or the second turn he appears, which means you're getting key +7. And then not to mention the extra key +2 that you're getting from receiving 5 attacks. Sorry, not receiving 5 attacks, performing 5 attacks, which of course the built-in additional is going to help you, stack up that part of his passive or build up that part of his passive relatively quickly. And of course, if you have dupes, even quicker. But even with the additional built-in, pretty much by his third appearance, you've got that key +2 and defense +50%. And the reason why that extra key +2 on both portions of his passive are so crucial later on during a fight is once Frieza loses the majority, if not all of his damage reduction at that point, the full 60%, you're going to have key +7, and then when you get the extra key +2 and attack +50% or defense +50%, whichever one you haven't got yet, that's then key +9. Key +9 on an LR that needs 18 key to launch his super attack to maximize his damage output, which obviously you want. But more importantly, again, by that point, you'll have the extra defense. If your HP is above 50%, you'll have the extra attack and defense +100% on top of the attack and defense +100% he has at the start of turn anyway. So he sits around about like 200k defense mark at 55%, which is pretty decent, with 30% damage reduction, which again is quite solid. And then the reason why that key is so useful is not just because of consistent 18 key supers to maximize damage. On top of that, the built-in additional again to maximize damage, which he does have some very good damage output, especially at 55% as well, and a more defensive focused unit. But also, so you're getting the 30% attack and defense raise on the 18 key itself. That way, once Frieza super attacks, like you're going to see it here. At this point, Frieza doesn't have the majority of his damage reduction. He just has his base 50%. 5960k on a basic without him super attacking, with the context of he only has 30% damage reduction, 200k defense at that point, is not bad. He becomes a godly slot 1 unit and tanks everything. And then when you get down to like, depending on the event, probably the 40% mark, and then definitely the 30% mark, including against a Mega who isn't that difficult anymore. Yes, 50-60k is quite a bit to take on a basic. However, Omega's basics do quite a bit of damage, and considering he only has 30% damage reduction at this point and hasn't supered, that's not bad and is better than the majority of units in the game. I think that's what you need to remember about Golden Frieza as well. Not only that, at 55%, as I said in the beginning of the video, that's when you're going to see a few more cracks here and there, and that's where his aging over time is going to kick in, but that happens to every unit. Without having the extra stats, 55%, he may take a little bit of extra damage in slot 1, and hopefully you can avoid a super. But again, that's where items come in. If I pop to Whis there, Frieza's taking no damage, and a super may do like 200k, but again, like I said on the basics, pre-super, that's way better than the majority of units in slot 1 in the game that will go there, who only have 30% damage reduction or don't have that much defense or similar defense to LR Golden Frieza. So I think that context is important. And then once he supers and gets the 18 key, and this is why I say the extra key plus 2, taking him up to 9, is so valuable later on. Once he super attacks, get the 30% attack and defense raise, as you saw there on the turn prior, he literally tanked double digits on a super. So 30% damage reduction, 200k defense at the start of turn, or like 257k I think he has in total. He ends up tanking double digits, and if he was to be super attacked by, you know, or if Omega done normal supers rather than a KO super, he would have survived. He would have survived. Would he have taken like 200k? Maybe, but he would have survived, which is the important thing. But I do believe at 55% you'll see a few more cracks here and there, but that's only in a specific circumstance of he hasn't supered yet, he hasn't raised his attack and defense, and he's lost all of his damage reduction and only has 30%. But he is still one of the best yellow coin LRs in the game. Do let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace!